Good morning, students. In the previous class, we were discussing about the various phylums under the animal kingdom. So, continuing with that, today we will discuss about the further phylums. Okay, and today the next phylum is Chondrichthyes. Okay, and these are
and a cartilaginous endoskeleton. Interestingly, the notochord is persistent throughout their lifespan.
So here they are having this notochord, that is a rod-like structure. It continues throughout their life. Okay, and they are having a cartilaginous endoskeleton. Okay, and
their skin is tough due to the presence of minute placoid scales.
So their skin is tough, rigid, because of the presence of this placoid scales. Scales are the thickening of this skin. Okay, and that protect from the environment.
In fact, their teeth are modified placoid scales.
And their teeth are nothing but modified placoid scales. These placoid scales are modified into teeth here. Okay, in this phylum.
Unlike other fish, their gill slits are separate and the operculum is absent.
So these gill slits, they are separate and operculum is absent. Okay.
Moreover, the absence of the air bladder forces them to swim constantly to remain buoyant. These fish are cold-blooded or poikilophile and have a two-chambered heart.
And these members of this phylum are cold-blooded. That means they cannot regulate their body temperature. Whereas we are warm-blooded. That means we regulate, our body regulates the body temperature. But here they are cold-blooded. That means they cannot regulate or control their body temperature. And they are having two-chambered heart.
With one auricle and one ventricle. They also have powerful jaws that make them good predators.
And they are having powerful jaws, okay, so that they make them very good predators. ಅಂದರೆ ಜಾ ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ದವಡೆಗಳು ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಬಲಿಷ್ಠವಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವು ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಬಲಿಗಳನ್ನು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು.
Some of them also have an electric organ or a poison sting to protect themselves from predators.
And they are also having these electric organs which protect them from the predators. Okay, ಶತ್ರುಗಳಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಲು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು. And they are also having a poison sting. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚೂಪಾದ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯ್ಸನಸ್ ಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಳ್ಳು ಕೂಡ ಅವುಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ.
Chondrichthyes are dioecious and the pelvic fins in males have clusters. Fertilization in these fish is internal and many of them are viviparous.
So they are dioecious in nature. That means both the sex are present separately, okay, and fertilization takes place internally.
Carcharinus, Scoliolum, Pristis, and Trigon are examples of this class. The next class within Pisces is Osteichthyes. These are marine and freshwater fish with a
Okay, next class is Osteichthyes, and these are marine and freshwater fishes.
streamlined body and a bony endoskeleton.
And they are having
Their skin is covered with cycloid.
They are having a streamlined body. That means that is the body shape which prevents the or reduces the friction. Okay, because they move in the water and they face lot of friction. ವಾಟರ್ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಚಲಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನೀರಿನ ಜೊತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಶೇಪ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಬಾಡಿ ಶೇಪ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಲೈನ್ಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, and they also have this cycloid scales and this pinoid scales. Scales are nothing but the thickening of the skin, okay, which protect them from the environment.
Or ctenoid scale. These fish have 4 pairs of gills, which are covered by an operculum and an air bladder, which maintains buoyancy. They too are cold-blooded and have a 2-chambered heart.
These are also cold-blooded in nature. That means they cannot regulate the temperature of their body temperature, and they are also having a 2-chambered heart.
Osteophils are dioecious, and fertilization is usually external. They are largely oviparous and exhibit direct development.
And they are dioecious, and fertilization is external, that is takes place outside the body.
Hippocampus and Exocetus are marine fish, while Labeo, Catula and Clarius are freshwater fish.
Hippocampus is a marine water fish, whereas Labeo, Catula and this Clarius, they are the freshwater fish.
While some fish like Betta and Pterophyllum are used in aquariums.
And certain species like this Betta and Pterophyllum, they are used in the aquarium. I hope you might have visited aquarium where different species of fish are collected, and these two are the example which are exhibited or collected in the aquariums.
The remaining 4 classes are placed under the superclass Tetrapoda, which means animals with limbs. Amphibians are adapted to aquatic as well as terrestrial habitats. Their body is divided in.
Okay, next we have amphibians. Amphi means both. Okay, that means the one which live both on the water as well as the land. They are known as amphibians. That means they are aquatic as well as terrestrial in nature. Aquatic means living in water, and terrestrial means they are living on the land.
To a head and trunk.
And the body is divided into head and that of the trunk.
While most of them have 2 pairs of limbs, some don't have a tail while others do. Their skin is always moist and lacks scale.
And the skin is always moist here. Okay, frog is one example for amphibian. Most common example, kappe ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ amphibians ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, because it lives in water as well as on the land. Okay, and these are having a moist skins. ಹಸಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ತೇವವಾದ ಒಂದು ಚರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಅವು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತವೆ. They are having moist skin.
Their eyes are covered by eyelids. Behind the eyes is a pair of tympani, which represents the ears.
These behind their eyes they are having tympani, and which resembles or represents the ear.
In amphibians, the alimentary canal and urinary and reproductive tracts open into a common chamber called the cloaca.
So here the digestive canal and urinary canal, okay, all they open into a common opening called as a cloaca,
which opens to the exterior. Adult amphibians breathe through lungs and skin, while the larvae breathe through their exterior gill.
So adult amphibians they breathe through the lungs and gills. Okay.
These animals are cold-blooded with a three-chambered heart.
These animals are cold-blooded. That is, they cannot regulate their body temperature, and they are a three-chambered heart. They are having a three-chambered heart. That is a right auricle, left auricle, and this ventricle. That is they are a three-chambered heart. They are having.
In amphibians, the sexes are separate and fertilization is external.
So, the another feature or characteristics is sexes are separate here, and fertilization is internal.
They are oviparous and exhibit direct or indirect development. Bufo, Rana, Hyla, and Salamandra are common examples of this class.
So, Bufo, Rana, and Hyla, and that Salamandra are the common examples for the class amphibians. That is the one which live both on land as well as in water.
The next class, Reptilia, includes animals that creep or crawl.
Okay, so the next class is Reptilia. These class includes the members which crawl. Crawl ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತೆವಳುದು. ಯಾವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ತೆವಳುತ್ತವೆ ಅದು ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? They are included in reptiles.
Reptiles are largely terrestrial animals, and their body is covered by dry and qualified skin.
And most of these, what is that? Reptiles are terrestrial. That is, they live in the land, and they are having dry skin.
And epidermal scales or scutes. They have external ear openings, and the tympan represents the ear.
And they are having external ear opening, and here also the tympanum represents the ear.
Except for snakes, reptiles have two pairs of limbs.
Okay, here except snakes, all the reptiles are having two pair of limbs. Okay.
Reptiles are cold-blooded and usually have a three-chambered heart.
So, these reptiles are cold-blooded and three-chambered heart. That means they are cold-blooded means they cannot control their body temperature, and they are having a three-chambered heart. That is, one is right auricle, left auricle, and the next one is a ventricle. These are the three chambers heart.
However, crocodiles have a four-chambered heart.
So, one thing you have to remember here, exception. Usually reptiles are having three-chambered, but crocodiles, they are having a four-chambered heart here. So, four-chambered heart is found in crocodiles. ಮೊಸಳೆಯಾಗ 4 ಚೇಂಬರ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಹೃದಯವನ್ನು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು ನಾವು.
Some reptiles, such as snakes and lizards, shed their skin. In reptiles, the sexes are separate and fertilization is internal.
So, here in reptiles, the sexes are separate, that is male and female, and fertilization takes place internal, okay, inside the body.
They are oviparous and exhibit direct development.
and they are oviparous in nature. Oviparous means they lay the egg and they exhibit the direct development. That means there is no larval stage. Okay.
Some common reptiles are chelone, testudo, chameleon, crocodilus, and naja.
So some of the examples of these reptiles are chelone and this testudo and chameleon, crocodiles and this naja.
The next class is aviary.
So with this we conclude here and continue in the next class.